Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fans of Beyond All Reason, and welcome back to the Brightworks today, kicking off our investigation of the new Beyond All Reason 4 vs 4 tournament. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few of the best players in this game, the top of the top, the absolute peak performance, if you will, of the Beyond All Reason leaderboards. Today, in our red team spawning in the southern side of Tundra V2, we have the pros: Pro Zelen, Pro Randy, Pro Daywalker, and Pro Exist. On our northern side, spawning for our blue team, we have Captain Jack Sparrow, possibly the best captain we've ever seen. We have Ragna, a developer and a longtime player of Bar, TA, all those fun commander-type games. Malady, very high-ranked player, very high up on the leaderboards. The leaderboards for 1v1s, free-for-all, the team game as well. Just you name it, Malady's up there. And we have LSR. This is going to be a action-packed game, I can tell you right from the get-go, because these guys do not hold back. All of them very early on. Going to be going for a lot of tech harassment, a lot of scout harassment. Things are going to get aggressive quick. You can see already now there's, how many is this here? 7 ticks out on the field for the blue team. The red team a bit slower to get those ticks out, but that's all right. They're going to be on the defense here initially. Looks like a couple of ticks are going to be headed towards Daywalker's base. And as they move forward here, they are going to find the orange player. Now let's see what the blue team sees as they move these ticks forward. Entering the fog of war mode, we look at what they can see. Now they scout Pink's tick coming out this way, so they must know that he's over there, while the purple ticks have spotted the orange player's base. Pro Randy has been scouted as well by some ticks out of Ragna, so they know now where the yellow player is, and of course, now that they know where 3 of the colors are, they know that Zelian must be on this far right-hand side. Good amount of damage coming out here. We've already seen a few mexes going down. Malady has already taken down a couple of mexes. There was a mex that went down here and a mex that went down here. I'm not sure who was credited with each of those kills, but there was also some wind turbines that went down as well. Might have chain reacted there. One of them is pretty badly destroyed. We're gonna have to keep our eyes on exactly how much more eco damage they can do. Every little snipe counts in these incredibly tight matchups between these pros here. We can see Malady microing his heart out, making sure that these ticks, they have as much efficiency as possible, but unfortunately they get smited by this dual laser cannon wielding grunt. Look at him there. 3 kills to his name. Must have killed something else while I was not looking. Captain Jack Sparrow starting to fortify his own lane, making sure that he has a firm grasp on exactly what he can control. Now this map is really interesting because there is this water path that encompasses the entire island here. And so, with that being in place, we sometimes see hovercraft gone for because they can transition from these backwards ramps down and around, back downtown into the other team's main base, and sometimes those plays can be quite devastating. Right now, we're mostly seeing bot labs here. I see bot labs. We do see an air lab here for Malady. It looks like that's the strategy the blue team is going for here. They're trying to get a early air lead, whereas the entire red team has gone for bot labs. So the blue team is, of course, going to be down a player. So Ragna is going to have to cover for Malady, make sure that he doesn't get overrun by all of these grunts pushing forward here. We do have a bit of a sandwich by these pawns, and we see some more units coming in from LSR? Anyway, LSR moving some units in to make sure that these grunts are pushed back. The pawns also harassing those grunts to death, making sure that these lines are not penetrated. Very good teamwork here, making sure that Malady has everything that he needs in order to get these early shuriken up and running. I think this is a great option. They're definitely going to be able to paralyze any run-by units that might try and harass those economies. It's just going to be one extra layer of defense, and until we see anti-air defenses up, and honestly, I wouldn't expect anti-air at this point. This is a very early air lab, especially for a 4v4, so I think there's not going to be much in the way of air defense coming out of the red team. If we take a look at their vision here, this is the first time they actually see those shuriken, and indeed those shuriken, one blast from each of them is able to paralyze a grunt each. And so they were used to shut down the armies of Pro Randy. Now I wonder if they're going to move over here and help with these pawns building up on this side as well, or whether they're just going to keep pushing in this middle lane. It is important that they push in this middle lane, of course, because they are looking for a way to make this lane a little bit less, or a little bit easier to contest for the blue team here, because of the skew of players pumping out ground units. We see bombers coming out now, and there was a scout that was sent out earlier. I'm not sure where it ended up. It might have been shot down by a anti-air. Yeah, it looks like there's a Thistle here. So light anti-air tower able to shoot down that scout. Looks like these shurikens are going to go in for a bit of a paralysis here on these pawns. That's very, very nice. Very good catch. A couple of pawns, but mostly grunts mixed in here, and they're going to mop up whatever those shurikens paralyzed. And that is quite devastating, because now this army is almost cut in half with basically no counter. Now, this is a lot of grunts moving around the back here, opting not to go for Zelin's base. Zeline? Not sure how to pronounce that name, but either way, not going for Red's base there. Maybe that's what we'll go with. And instead opting to harass down the units, the proxy units on the outer fringes of the base here. They do get the wraparound though, so they're going to cause quite a bit of trouble. Now the bombers are out though, and they have scouted, because that scout was out earlier. So the blue team does have a bit of an understanding of where the yellow teams or the red teams' economy structures are. Now these bombers need to be spread out, otherwise those Thistles are going to get some anti-air strikes on them. But they do target a nice little run there that takes out some wind turbines, some solar panels, and most importantly, that construction turret. So that was very, very well done. LLT gets bursted down here, and this is an impressive lead here for LSR. He's got a tremendous, tremendous push going on here. Going to be very, very impactful. Zelin is going to have to rebuild from the ashes, so to speak. Now we do have Resbots coming out here to try and patch anything they can back up. There's not much left. I'd love to see these units being rebuilt though. That would be one effective way of slamming your enemy's lead back in their own face by taking their units, resing them, and bringing them back to the front line. I think that would be very nice to see. Vehicle lab put up here by Ragna, and wow, we've already got a T2 vehicle lab coming up. I wonder if there was a commander trade or something. Not sure where we're financing all of this from, but either way, we're going for that T2 lab, and we're not looking too bad. We do have a lot of metal going up here. Are we reclaiming from anywhere, I wonder? Maybe this reclaim bot by LSR is what's sending the funds in order to power up this T2 vehicle lab here on the front. This is risky to put it up this far, because if a good enough push breaks through here, of course, you're going to be in quite a bit of trouble. We are almost done with that. We are 90-ish% of the way, 95. I think we've got allies helping fund the rest of this here. You can see Ragnar's sliders are incredibly low here. He's sharing metal over 200 here. I guess just making sure that all of their metal is shared equally. Love that, socialist propaganda coming out here by Ragna. I'm sure he's meaning to send a message there. Maybe I'm reading too far into things here. By the way, let's take a look at these true skills here, right? Ragna, 52 true skill. I mean, it's rare to see somebody over 30, let alone 40s, which is what most of these players are at. But 52, I mean, Ragna with a dominating lead in the true skill category here. Absolutely, absolutely impressive. Below them, we have 41 and 47 for Captain Jack Sparrow and Malady, and finally LSR at a very respectable 33. I mean, the lowest and still higher than 90% of the players you'll encounter in a regular match. Now for the other team, they are much lower. You can see even Pro Exist down to 18, but holding his own here on this front line against Captain Jack Sparrow, who is much, much higher. So very commendable there. Jumping into these 4v4 games can be quite daunting, but doing your best and certainly learning from it is going to be a huge boon, especially to your teammates. A lone grunt makes it through here, trying to use this mountain as a fast pass gateway to get around and sneak into the enemy lines. Shurikens find it though, and they're going to put an end to it. They don't have a great way of dealing with that specifically, but they can at least keep that unit frozen there forever. Now we do see lightning tanks pumped out here on the front. Those are huge. Lightning tanks, of course, can do a tremendous amount of damage. They do a little bit of splash damage as well, and they're fast as all hell. So they're going to break through these enemy lines with basically no contest here. You can see that the missile trucks are actually harassing them pretty badly. Shuriken's doing a good job of helping these light laser turrets to take down these pawns without suffering too much damage. Yeah, those Shurikens, man, if you have a good Cortex Air player, they are just so tough to contest. Those Shurikens are really, really phenomenal at making sure that those making sure that those run-bys don't get too much steam put behind them, which is just phenomenal. We even see resurrections here to get these LOTs back up and running, and then reclaiming all those bots. You can see the APM efficiency coming out here. It's not that it's an overwhelming amount of APM, but it's just the fact that every action they're doing is just the right one. Now, Randy has made it particularly far here. Randy actually moving all the way across the river and towards the heart of Malady's base here, who is, of course, the air player. So we're looking at a tricky situation here, because Randy could definitely go for the snipe on the commander and probably wipe a lot of Malady's force off of the face of the map here if he sacrifices his commander. But is it worth it? Because remember, that's 2,000 metal down the drain into the blue economy that we would essentially be just giving away. We see these missile trucks trying to push forward here and cause as much pain as they can. It's not a lot, but it might be enough to force Ragna to make some desperation units here. Getting very low on metal though, so we'll have to see what happens. Lightning tanks pushing forward to start blasting away at these missile trucks, these these lashers. The Armada ones are whistlers, I believe. Now we see these T2, or not T2, the T1, but medium laser turrets. The beamers working on some of these artillery pieces, these siege rocket bots pushing forward here. Randy electing to move forward with his commander, but decides the better of it. A lot of his units are paralyzed, and there's a pushing counterattack from the right-hand side. We do have hounds out now, so we are officially transitioning into T2 economies. You can see Captain Jack Sparrow has moved a bot lab all the way forward here, no longer producing out of the back. That is very nice. Move that production forward, helps you maintain your defender's advantage. You can push your defender's advantage forward to your front lines, and then it becomes a offender's advantage, I suppose. Sounds a little bit weird, but you understand what I'm talking about. Now, these blitzes moving forward here, not flashes, but blitzes. We will see Flash, I'm sure, somewhere later in this tournament. Another really good player. I'm sure he'd be eager to compete here. And yeah, these lashers have actually put in quite a lot of pain. They're a bit overwhelming. Ragna in quite a bit of hurt here. Commander down to 28%. Don't blow up the commander. Oh no. Commander's getting real low. Looks like Randy's commander did go down there, but I think Ragna's will as well. And there it goes. So these missile trucks actually causing quite a bit of pain. Of course, these shurikens can't actually push in. Those missiles are able to target aerial units as well. So they're in a bit of a tricky spot here, where these shurikens can no longer be useful because of the amount of Whistler trucks that are now up here. Oh, and that was an excellent snipe here. Captain Jack Sparrow sniping Daywalker's main commander back behind the actual fortification line. And is that it? It looks like with that, they actually... I'm not sure if it was a resign or if that was the very last commander, but with that... Oh, I see. Yeah, Captain Jack Sparrow got the last commander. So with that, an excellent snipe. And that brings us to the end of this match. Action-packed. Hard to even track those very last few plays there. Captain Jack Sparrow, you can see earning so many awards here. Let's look at the graphs. See just how fast these players can scale up their economies like crazy. I mean, look at Ragna just impressively leading the charge here with so much economy into that late game there. Excellent plays coming out here. If you're a noob and you're looking at this, trying to learn from it, there's lots to learn, lots to study. Feel free to go back, pause, replay, look at some of the builds, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and more important than any of that, have a great rest of your day.